So we should have inputs. One for what the name of the group. One for quantity. So contains quantity. But I think one for price. Then after we have a button. Then upgrade. So when you click on this button, you're going to get these three inputs. Then you push them, you put them in a table. That table we have a column for name, a column for, let me just call this one name. So you have a column for name, a column for quantity, a column for price, a place to edit. When you click on it, to edit. Then for delete also. I think those are those things just to do. So let's create states for these ones. So we come here and say let's name. We've done this thing over and over again. I think we should have gotten used to this format now. This one, should have gotten used to it. By repeating this, it will let it stick. And lastly, okay, so as you type inside it, whatever you type here becomes the name. Then whatever you type here becomes the quantity. It becomes the script UI. Whatever you type here automatically becomes the price. So when you click on this button, you want to get these three. Then you put them inside an array of all goods. So let's create a list for all goods. So we have this list. When you click on this button, you get this and you push them into this list. So let's create a function. So this function add new goods will be the one to add new goods for us. So on click of this button, you call on this function add new good. So you add the new good inside this. You say set all goods, because I told you you get initial values. For now, there's still a better way to do this part, but for now, let's stick to this format. Then we can now create an object. Then we put the name, the quantity, and the price. Okay. Name, quantity. I think we did something like this in our last class too. Any question to this part? If you don't understand any parts, please let me know. Any question? Okay. Jade Solange, you can ask your question.
Okay. When you inside that object,
Okay.
that curly braces. Okay, that is the structuring, Abi.
No, not the structuring. What we are doing here is this. Sorry,
Okay.
someone wants to join. Okay. So what we are doing here is we could have done it like this. Name is name. QTY is QTY. This is price. We can do something like this. We are creating an object. We want the object to have a key name and the value will be this name. We want it to have another key called QTY and the value will be this QTY. We want it to have a key called price and the value will be this price. Do you understand this part?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we can now push the object here. New. Put like this. Do you get this part?
Yes, yes.
Now,
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So I explained in the last class that whenever the key and the value are the same, you can replace it with just one of them. In year 6, if the key and the value are the same, you can replace it with one. So we can write like this. Also, instead of first creating a variable and putting the variable here, we can just take this one out of this place. Then we put it directly here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we have all the goods here. Let's try to display our goods in a table now. Sorry. We have a T head. Then in our T head we have the table. Oops. Then in our row we have a TH for serial number. Then we have another one for the name of the good. We have another one for the quantity and another for price. TH quantity. Then let's start with character letter. Then another for price. Then another one for edits. Then another one for deletes. So these are our table, the first one. Let's come to our T body. So we want the number of rows to be based on the number of items in our goods, based on the number of items inside this place. So just like we did in our last class, we say all goods dot map. So each good, or let's just call it good. Then index. So we return this. We return T-hal now. Now in my T-hal, I'll have TD. Well, let's give it our key. Key equals to, for now, we'll still use this. The reason we are, I think, what's now this man? Mr. Sheriff is a. So he came early in the last class and I explained to him that the reason I'm giving us this particular assignment is for you to internalize these teachings, like so as to practice and practice and practice. That's why I'm giving us this second. That's why I gave us the second assignment in the last class. That's the reason. Please, I enjoy us to ensure you practice these things. Try to do the assignment, even if you don't get it, attempt it, and ensure you try, like, stay with it. Try your best to get it done. Please. I'm not just here to teach us alone. The reason for doing this is for you to know these things. If I just come to teach, if you don't practice, you won't know. Really, you won't. It requires that, and I'm begging us, please practice these things. I think the last assignment, 2 persons submitted. Maybe not encouraging enough. Please practice and submit assignments. Okay, so we have this TD. In this TD now we have the serial number. So we can say I+1. Then we have the name. We can now say good. That's name. This gives us the name of each good. Then good. That the next is quantity. That's QTY. Oops. It should be in curly braces like this. You know this good represents each object in all goods. It represents each of these objects. These objects, each of them. So each of them we have a key called name, another called QTY, another called vice. So those are the ones we are displaying here. CD, we say good dot vice like this. So then we want to have the edit button. You can say TD. We just have let's get a button. Let's get a button. So edit. Then each of them we have a delete button too. Say button. Say delete. So let's check them out. Oh, we are yet to start it. Let's start our project. So we have this. Let's add another one. Oh, we want to enter this immediately we add new goods. Let's quickly solve that part. Value for this is QTY. The value for this is price. Okay. So let's go and add more. Okay. So based on what I asked us in the last class, I said when you click on this edit now, this name should change to an input. Then this text edit should change to save. I come again. When I click on edit, someone wants to join. So when I click on this text should change to an input, and if it's this one also, this one should change to an input. Then the text should change to save. So let's find ways around that. Before then, let's first do this delete. Since we've already done this part before, we just center on this edit and complete the task. So let's do the delete and let's make that work. So let's get a function called delete. Now, I told us that whenever you want to delete a good, you need to know the good you want to delete. And one way to do that is to send the index. So I'll come here and say, when I click on this, delete good. But now you pass this index so that it helps you to identify the one you want to delete. So I come here, you pass the index like this. So let's retrieve it here. You can get it here as syntax. So you now say set arguments. So you're setting arguments dot filter. So we are not using the first argument, we are only using the second argument. So you say return where index is not the same as I. Any question? Any question? I think we've done something like this in the last class too. So we are done with the delete part. Let's now come to this part. Edit. I think that's the main assignment I gave us. So what I'll do is this. When creating these objects, you know, this is where we created the object. Where is it? There are different ways. That's the beauty of programming. There are different ways to go about it, but the way I want to is when creating this object, each of these objects, I will add a property in it, maybe called edits. I will add a property on each of these. I can call that edits. So if you click on the edit, that property I'll be toggling the property between true and false. When I click on edit, it changes to true. When I save it, it changes back. It goes back to false. I come again. I will add a new property to each good. That would be edit. Then I'll be toggling it. So I can add a new property. I can call it edit. At the beginning is false. It's false. So if edit is false, then show the name of that good. But if it is true, show an input. I can make it. If edit is false, show the name of that input. Like show this name. If it is true, show an input. So I can just use this or inputs. So edit is false. I'm coming. You see this, but let me change edit to true so that you understand what is happening there. Set it to true now. So you see an input there. Oh, that's going on. Oh, okay. Oh, for new good, it's only after the new goods that you added, yeah. Edit is incoming. Edit is true for all of them. If edit is true, okay. Okay. If it is false, this or this, yeah. If it is false, what you're doing is, if these parts, you know, are in let's go to vanilla JavaScript to understand what is happening here. In vanilla JavaScript, if you have false or a value, it's going to be that value. Let's go to console to practice that part. You can use the ternary operator to get the same result. If I say false or 5, the result is 5. If I say 2 or 5, the result is 2. You understand? False or something, it will be that value. So if I say false or inputs, it will be an input. Are you getting it? Are we together? False or inputs, it will be an input. True or input, it will be true. Do we get what is happening now?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, it will be good.name. Oh, that's not. This is not true or false. This is a string. Sorry. I can just say if good.edits dot updates. If this is true, then display an input, else display the name of the group. If this is true, display an input, else display the name of that group. So initially, we can start, all of them start as first. All of them. Initially, everything starts as first. Then, when you click on this button, we will change our first to true. And you know, once this is true, then the input appears. Once it is false, the good name appears. Do you understand what is happening? Any questions so far? If you are getting it, say I'm getting it.
I'm getting it.
If you are not sure whether you are getting it, say I'm not sure. Okay, if I'm not getting it, say I'm not getting it.
I'm getting it based on the example you gave earlier.
Okay. Right. Let's move on. So if this is true, if the edit is true, you have an input, else you have the name of the group. So what we will now do is that when I click on this button, I will find a way to change the edits. I think someone is setting up. Okay, no problem. So when I click on this button, I'll find a way to change this edit from first to true. So let's click. I'll click. I can say change edit. So let's get a function called change edit. Now, whenever we want to change edits, we need to know the one we want to change, right? So let's pass the index so that we know that, oh, this is the particular one we're about to change. So we pass the index like this. So let's save it here. Now, how do we get the item with that index? This is what I'll do here. I'll create a new array. The new array will be a clone of this. I come again. I'll create a new array that will be a clone of this. The reason for creating this is because I don't want to mutate this one directly. I come again. I don't want to. Remember, I told you that if you need to change this all goods, it must be done using this set all goods, right? If I need to change all goods, it must be done using set all goods. This part, I think, okay, maybe in our next class, I will take, maybe in the first 30 minutes of our next class, I will explain, what's it called? Reference and values. JavaScript reference and values. So that this will give you a better understanding of why we are doing what I'm about to do. Reference and value. But the reason is because I don't want to alter this one directly. I want to ensure that if I need to alter this, it must be done using this set goods. So I will create just a clone of this, a new array that we have exactly, or that we have everything inside this goods. So let's do that together. I can say new goods. I want it to clone that one, so I'll say all goods. So I'm spreading everything in all goods in new all goods. Now that means new all goods look exactly like all goods. Now, because this one is not a state, this one is just a variable, not a state. All goods is a state, and I don't want to alter the state yet. But this is just a variable in my code. I can do whatever I want with it. So I'll say new all goods dot find. Can we remember the HOF I taught us at the beginning of the training, the map filter find? Let me ask us, what's the difference between filter and find? Who can remind us the difference between filter and find?
Yes, filter will He give us all. I forgot. And find will give us the first. This thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Filter will give us all instances of that condition, everything that meets that condition. While find only returns the first instance, the first value that meets the condition. So I also explained to us that filter returns an array, while find just returns a value. So we are going to say that help us to find the object that has this index. Help us to find the object that has that index. So, well, I'm not interested in the first. Oh yeah, I'm not interested in the first value. I'm only interested in the index. So return the objects whereby index is the same as high. So I want to find the object that has this index. So I'll save this as a variable. I can call it font good. Let's console log font good. Console log font good, so that you get what you are doing better. So let's go to the browser and see it. Let me refresh and add new goods. Font. Let's say 5 twice. Let's say power bank. Quantity twice. So when I will click on edit for the second one, you can see this is the good. If I click on edit for the first one, this is the good. So I will now pick that particular good. Please, any questions so far? Any question? Now I can pick my font good. Dot edit. I will set it to 2. Once I set it to 2, it will affect this new all goods. In fact, this is the reason I didn't use this all goods directly. This is why we first played it in a variable, in another variable. If I say console log new all goods, you see how it looks like. Let me clear my console. Click this. Look at the first one. You will see the edit has changed to 2. Meanwhile, this one still remains first. If I click on this one, let me clear. Both of them would have changed to 2. So then the second one also is 2. Are we getting it? That's the reason I didn't use this, what's it called? This all goods. Because if I had used this also, it means I'm trying to mutate my state. I'm trying to change the value of this part. We attempt to change this without using this function set all goods. Remember I told you that if you need to change all goods, it must be done using this set all goods, not directly like this, So that's the reason we first played it in a variable. Then we can do whatever we want with this variable. Any questions so far? Okay. So this line, set the edit to 2. After setting it to 2, I can now say set all goods. Let it now be this new goods. Now remember, this new goods, like new all goods, it will be exactly, it will look exactly like all goods, only that the edit property of this font good has changed to 2. I can again. It looks exactly like this, with the exception, only that the font good, the property edit of the font good, has changed to 2. So we can now set it back. New goods like this. So let's see what happens. You can see our inputs here. I'll refresh, add new goods. Font, quantity. this. Now edit, look at, just notice this part. You see this one has changed to an input. Next is I want to change this text, edit text to save, so that I can use that to save that particular one. So let's do that together. Where is the edit? Okay, this is the edit. So, well, you can do that by using two buttons. You can use two buttons if you like. But you can also use a single button so that you run if statements here. But I think two buttons will make our work easier, really, so that we won't have to run if statements. We can say that if this edit is true, then display the save button. If it is false, display this edit button. So we can do that. If the group dot edit, if it is true, then display this. I can call this one save house. Just cut this one out. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. So if this is true, it will display this save button. If it is false, it will display this edit button. So you can see the save button. So when I click on this save, I want to get this value and save it successfully. Please, if you are lost, let me know. Are we still following?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. Ativola Tayo. You've not spoken since morning.
Yeah.
Good evening. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm getting it. Just that we didn't join on time.
Okay. Oh, thank God the class is being recorded. Yes. You can go back to the recordings and watch.
But I like that.
You said?
I like the approach of having another property edit.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll be looking at it.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what we now do is that when you click on this save, we want to save that particular one. So click, say save edits. Let's just call it save edits. Of course, if I'm saving edits, I need to know the index of the one I'm saving. Oops. So let's pass this to it. So let's get a function called save edits. Const save edits. So this save edits is going to do exactly this, only that it will change the edits to false. It's going to do something like this. Only that it will change the edit to false. You will get all the goods, you will find out goods, but you just change the edit to false. Now, if you observe something, this save edits and this change edits, they are doing almost the same thing. The only difference is this line. This line. In programming, when you see yourself in this, you must be thinking of, or you must start thinking about finding a way to solve that problem so that you won't repeat yourself. We are repeating ourselves here. We are doing for almost the same thing, only this line, with the exception of this line. So for that reason, I will find a way to bring them together so that you only write just one function. Let's see how we go about it. But let's first see if this one works, then we'll now use that so you understand what I'm saying better. When you click on this save edit, it calls on this function. it passes the index. It passes the index, you save it here. You find out goods in this place. You set it back to false. Then, oh, not just setting it back to false. Not just setting. You want to get this one too. That is the input. Oh, you want to get whatever is inside this input too. Yeah. You want to get whatever is inside this input also. So if you're able to get whatever is inside this input, then you now save it. Oh, I think that's where the difference comes in. You get whatever is there, then you save it. So let's create a state to handle this part. You can say let's can call it edit input set edit input state. That's an input and change event set edit input to event dot target dot value. So as we type here, you are setting the edit input to whatever is inside this input. So we are not just changing this place alone. We also say font good dot name, let it be edit input. Let it be edit input. Font good dot name, let it be edit input. So, and we can set edit input back to empty string. Let's be back to empty string afterwards. Okay. What else? What we are doing is when you click on this button, this save edit, you call on this function, you run the goods here. You spread all the goods inside this new all goods. You look for the goods. You change the edit to false. You change the name to whatever is inside that input. Then you set that input to empty string. Well, I think this one, yeah. You set this one back to empty string. Then you now set the goods. Now remember, in this new all goods, we look exactly like this, with the exception of that font goods. The edit of that font goods would have changed to false, and the name of that font good would have changed to this. But I think this one is somehow redundant, but because the inputs will be taken away from the screen immediately. You know, when this is false, this input will not show. Where is it? This input will not show, but let's leave it like that. When this is false, one immediately is changed to false, the input will not show again. Okay, what else? Let's add new goods. TV, quantity, price, add good. I say chair, quantity, price. Okay. So I can edit, type whatever I want to type there. Let's say I want to change this to table. Then I can save it. Good. I can also edit this one too. Type whatever I need to type. Let's say stool. Save. Good. I think this part is working fine. Any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Well, initially I was thinking of creating a different, of merging these two functions together. But since these parts now, these three parts, since they've been added, we may not necessarily work on merging them together. Initially, I was thinking probably the only difference was this single line. But since we've added this and this, well, you, you may not find them worthy of merging them together. You may not. You may not. Should we do the merging or we just leave them as this? Well, I prefer to, personally, if I were to be working on a project, I prefer to leave them separately like this. But let's say just a single line, change it to two of us, I would have thought of merging them together. But I think this is okay like this. Okay. Any question? Any question? Any question? So, if there's no question, in our next class, we're going to look at components. We see how to split components. But before then, before we go into that class, I'll first explain some things in JavaScript. This, that's reference and value is from vanilla JavaScript. This one is not, that part is not peculiar to React. It's from vanilla JavaScript. It will make you understand JS the more, and the more you understand JS, the more you can manipulate your React application, the more you can. And after the class too, I'll give us task. I'll give us task today. Thank you for coming to class. I'll send the recordings immediately after the class. No assignments today, don't worry, no assignments. So that we are not going to spend the next class finding solution, like working on the solution again. So I'll teach us something in the next class, then I'll give us an assignment after the class, which are going to do the solution in the following class. Thanks for coming. Have a lovely night rest.
Thanks for your time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.